Okay, so today we are going to start off by talking about range. A measure of variation is the measure that describes the spread or distribution of a set. One measure of variation is called the range. And you find it by taking the difference between the greatest value and the lowest value. Okay, so it says 2 reality cooking shows. Select 12 contestants each. The ages of the contestants are shown in the tables. Find the range of the ages for each show and then compare your result. So if I take a look at show A, what is my lowest number in show A? 19. And what's my highest age? There's a higher one. 31. So here I want to take 31 and subtract 19. Which is 12. Okay. Then for show B, what's my lowest age? And my highest? So I'm going to do 48 minus 19. Huh? 29. So which one has a larger spread of ages? B. Is standard deviation. A standard deviation of a data set is the measure of how much a value differs from the mean. So this symbol right here is called sigma, and it represents the standard deviation. So the smaller this number is, the closer it means that the data is around the mean. And a large standard deviation means that the data is more spread out. So to find our standard deviation, we're going to use our calculator. What we're going to do is we are going to put this information in our calculator. So our first step is to press the stat button, which is right here next to the left arrow key. And then my first choice is to edit, so I'm going to press enter. Then if I want to clear out this list, I'm going to arrow up and press clear, and then arrow down. So you only have to do this part if there's numbers in your list. If it looks like this, you don't have to do that part I just did. Yeah, so you go, if there's like a bunch of numbers here, so say I had like numbers down here, I would go up to the L1 and make sure that's highlighted. So you see how it's like, and then I press clear, and then I arrow back down and it gets rid of the numbers for me. Oh, how do I get to this spot? I press stat and then enter. It's next to the left arrow. Okay. So then I want to enter my numbers. So I press enter after I type each of them in. So then for my next step, what I'm going to do is I am going to go second mode to go home. And this time I want to press stat. I'm going to arrow to the right to go to calc. And then my first choice, one var stats, means one variable statistics. And I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to arrow down to the word calculate and press enter again. So I can show you that again. So I go to stat, I arrow over to calc. I want the one var stats. And then I arrow down to the word calculate, and I press enter. So I'm looking for the sigma in there. This is my standard deviation. And I want to round my answer to the nearest hundredth. That is 2 decimal places. Okay, so what is my sigma? So I want to round to 2 decimal places. It's going to be 4.19. Okay, so from yesterday, what does the X bar mean? Mean, median, or mode? Do you remember? Mean. So, which means the mean of this data. So if I look at the X bar, what is the X bar? 5. So my average is 5. So then I'm going to do a second example with you guys. It wants me to find the standard deviation of the ages for the first show in the example on the other side. So I'm going to flip over so I have those numbers. I'm going to go second mode to go back to the home screen. Then I'm going to go stat. And I want to edit. I'm going to clear out my list. So I arrow up, I press clear, and then I arrow down. And then I'm going to type in every age from this box. Okay, so once I've typed in all of my numbers, I want to go second mode to go back home. Then I press stat, I arrow over to calc, I press enter, I arrow down to the word calculate, I press enter again. So it gives me these numbers. I'm going to go back to the back side of my notes. So what is my standard deviation from here? That's the one that's got the symbol that looks like this. So on my calculator, what's that value? 4.2. I'm going to go 2 decimal places, so 4.20. This means that the typical age of the contestant on show A differs from the mean. What's my mean? 25. By 4.20 years. So most contestants are within 4 years of 25. So they could either be 4 years younger or 4 years older.